The security camera would later show 37 witnesses, but in that moment, Samantha Walker felt utterly alone. Sometimes the loudest screams are the ones nobody hears. The video has 10.2 million views. That's shaky phone footage of a skinny girl in torn jeans delivering what the internet calls instant karma to her attacker. But I need you to understand something before I tell you what really happened that Tuesday afternoon at Riverside Skate Park. This isn't just about a girl who fought back. This is about every time someone told her to just ignore them. Every adult who looked the other way and every witness who chose their own comfort over someone else's safety. My name is Isabella Bennett, and I'm the one who filmed it. Let me take you back 3 months before the incident to when I first noticed Samantha. She always arrived at 4:15 after the crowds thinned out. While other skaters announced themselves with loud music and personalities, Sam moved like a ghost. She'd claimed the far corner of the park, the spot with cracked concrete and faded graffiti that said, "Angels live here, too." Nobody else wanted that corner, but she made it dance. "You're that blogger girl, right?" Nathan Thompson had rolled up beside me. At 17, Nathan was what every skater wanted to be: sponsored, skilled, and genuinely kind. "Photographer," I corrected. "And you're the guy who's too chicken to stand up to Ethan Reynolds." His face darkened. We both glanced toward the center where Ethan held court with his crew, the self-proclaimed Skate Kings. They'd claimed the newest section, marking territory with matching snake logo stickers and entitlement. "You don't know what you're talking about," Nathan muttered. But his eyes followed my gaze to where Samantha practiced kick flips. "I know he's been hassling her for weeks. I know you see it, too." Nathan's jaw tightened. "And what am I supposed to do?" "Ethan's dad owns half this town. Richard Reynolds. The kind of lawyer who could make speeding tickets disappear and assault charges vanish. The kind of father who taught his son that rules were for other people." The first time I saw Ethan really notice Samantha was a Thursday in early May. She'd landed a complicated heel flip variation clean after 50 attempts. A few younger kids applauded. That's when everything shifted. "Yo, check out the Space Invader." Ethan's voice carried across the park like toxic wind. He and 3 of his crew started rolling toward Sam's corner. She pretended not to notice, but I saw her shoulders tense. My camera was already recording. "This section's for real skaters," Ethan announced, stopping right in her path. "Not whatever this is." Samantha looked up, and I saw something in her eyes that reminded me of my sister, who came home from college different, quieter. A weary familiarity with this script. "I'm just practicing," she said softly. "There's plenty of room." "See, that's where you're wrong." Ethan stepped off his board, and his crew spread out. "This whole park is mine." Nathan appeared, trying for casual. "Yo, Ethan, check out this new deck." It was a distraction technique, but not that day. "In a minute," Ethan said, not taking his eyes off Samantha. "I'm explaining the rules too. What's your name again?" "She doesn't have to tell you anything," I called out. Ethan's head snapped toward me. "Izzy Bennett. Should have known you'd be creeping around with that camera." "Just documenting life at Riverside," I said. "All of it." The threat hung in the air. Ethan finally kicked Samantha's board into the fence. "Find somewhere else to play, Space Invader." I walked over and picked up her board. "You okay?" She took it with barely trembling hands. "I'm fine. I got it all on camera if you want to." "I'm fine," she repeated with steel in her voice. "Thank you, but I don't need anyone fighting my battles." Over the next weeks, I started arriving earlier, staying later. Samantha had developed a sixth sense for when Ethan would show up, often leaving just before his crew arrived. "Why don't you just find another park?" I asked her once at the vending machines. She inserted her dollar with precision. "Why should I have to?" It was such a simple question, but it hit like a slap. "You're right," I said. "You shouldn't." She selected water. "My dad used to bring me here when I was little. He'd sit right over there." She pointed to a bench with a memorial plaque and watched me learn to balance. I looked at the plaque. "Master Sergeant David Walker, beloved father, protector, teacher." "He died when I was 8, Samantha said quietly. "This place, it's all I have left of him." The weight settled between us. This wasn't just about skating. It was about holding on to pieces of people we've lost. "He taught you more than just balance," I observed. A ghost of a smile crossed her face. He said, "Knowing how to fight means knowing when not to." Said, "Real strength is in restraint." But what if restraint isn't enough? She took a long drink, and I noticed old bruises on her wrist, faded yellow-green. "Then you do what you have to do." That conversation haunted me as the harassment escalated from words to accidents. Ethan accidentally shoulder-checking her into fences, accidentally kicking her board into traffic, always with that cruel smile. Nathan tried intervening, but Ethan had his number. Careful, Thompson. Would be a shame if your sponsor heard about that party last month. The threat was clear. In Riverside, the Reynolds family had tentacles everywhere, but something was building in Samantha. I could see it in the way she started arriving in workout clothes underneath her skatewear. The way she stretched differently, like preparing for something beyond skating. Officer Grace Harrison noticed too. She'd started doing community outreach at the park. That girl's got the look, she told me. Same look I had at her age. What look? The one that says she's done being afraid. Question is whether she'll use that fearlessness to run or to fight. What did you do? Grace was quiet. Ran for 20 years, then became a cop so other girls wouldn't have to. The weekend before everything changed, there was a competition at Riverside. Samantha hadn't entered but was there early. I was filming setup when I heard the commotion. That sound every woman recognizes, the particular pitch of male laughter that means someone's being hunted. Ethan and his entire crew, maybe 8 guys, had surrounded Samantha. The main park was empty. No witnesses except me. I started running. By the time I got close, Nathan had appeared, trying to push through the circle. Just one date, Ethan was saying. Come on, I'm being nice here. I said no. Samantha's voice was steady. You say no a lot. Ethan stepped closer. Maybe you don't understand the question. His hand moved toward her. Nathan grabbed Ethan's wrist. Enough, man. The silence was suffocating. Did you just put your hands on me? Ethan's voice was dangerous. Let her leave, Nathan said. You're right, Ethan said, then smiled. It's not worth it yet. He stepped back, letting Samantha through. See you Tuesday, Space Invader. We'll continue this conversation. After she left, I found Nathan sitting on the memorial bench, head in hands. That was brave, I said. He laughed bitterly. Was it? I just painted a target on both our backs. You could report it. I have it on camera. Report it to who? His dad owns the judicial system here. That night, I went through all my footage, creating a compilation of every incident. I uploaded it to a private server, insurance for whatever was coming. Tuesday arrived with a heat wave. Samantha was there at 4:15 like always. I'd been there since 3, waiting. That morning, I'd woken with the feeling I get before earthquakes. The park was quieter than usual. By 4:30, it was just Samantha, a few kids at the other end, and me. Then they arrived. Not just Ethan and his usual crew, but more. 6, 7, 8 of them. I started recording immediately. Told you we'd continue our conversation, Ethan announced. You've been very rude. I don't like rude girls. Nathan appeared, but 2 of Ethan's crew blocked him. This doesn't involve you, Thompson. I'm skating, Samantha said. If you have a problem, take it up with park management. Ethan laughed. See, that's your problem. You think the rules apply here. He stepped off his board. This is about respect. About knowing your place. Everyone belongs here, Samantha said. That's what public means. God, do you ever shut up? I'm done talking. What happened next exists in 2 versions. The viral version is 43 seconds that starts mid-action. You see Ethan's hand reaching. You see Samantha's body shift like water. You see him hit the ground, arm bent at an angle that makes people gasp. You see her standing over him saying 5 words. I said no every day. But I was there for all of it. I saw Ethan's face when he decided to cross that final line. Not angry, but cold and entitled. I saw his friend's expressions shift from amusement to horror. Most of all, I saw Samantha's eyes before she moved. No fear. Just terrible, weary recognition. Just let me touch them, Ethan was saying as his hand moved toward her chest. I bet they're not even real. She tried to step back, but the circle left nowhere to go. His hand made contact, squeezing hard. The sound she made will haunt me forever. The movement was so fast my camera barely caught it. One moment Ethan was groping her. The next he was airborne. She'd grabbed his wrist, pivoted, and used his momentum to flip him over her hip. He hit the concrete with a sound like wet cement dropping. His arm twisted until something snapped. The scream silenced every other sound. Samantha let go and stepped back, hands shaking. But her voice was steady. I said no every day. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then chaos. Holy shit. Call 911. She broke his arm. Phones appeared like weapons. I kept my camera on Samantha, watching her realize what she'd done. Nathan reached her. "We need to go now." But it was too late. Sirens were approaching. Officer Grace Harrison was first on scene. "Nobody move," she commanded. Then Richard Reynolds arrived, screeching into the lot. "Don't say anything," he barked at Ethan. Then to Grace. "Officer Harrison, I trust you'll be arresting the girl who assaulted my son." "I'm conducting an investigation," Grace replied. "My son has a broken arm." "That's assault. I want her arrested now." I watched them put Samantha in handcuffs. She looked at me and mouthed two words, "Upload it." So I did. Sitting in my car, hands shaking, I uploaded the full video everywhere. I titled it, "This is what happens when just ignore them stops working." Within an hour, it had 1,000 views. Within 3 hours, 50,000. By the time I got home, my phone was unusable from notifications. That night, I stayed up editing. I pulled every clip of Ethan harassing Samantha, every escalation, every time she tried to leave and was blocked. I created a timeline. I called it The Full Story, What Led to Riverside Skate Park. By morning, #JusticeForSamantha was trending, but Richard Reynolds hadn't built his reputation by backing down. By Wednesday, he was on local news spinning his narrative. His son, a promising athlete, viciously attacked without provocation. The girl had a history of violence, a lie. They painted Samantha as a troubled loner who snapped. The comments became a battleground. I went to Samantha's house Wednesday afternoon. Her mother answered with exhausted eyes. "You're the girl with the camera. How is she?" "Home." They released her pending investigation, but Richard Reynolds wants to destroy us. "I'm a single mother, a night shift nurse. I don't have money for lawyers." But she underestimated what we'd started. Justice for Samantha was mobilizing. A GoFundMe raised $10,000 in 6 hours. Lawyers offered pro bono services. Other girls began sharing their own stories about Ethan. The tipping point came Thursday morning. Grace Harrison showed up at my door. "I need to see all your footage." "Everything." "Why now?" "Because 3 more girls came forward last night. Stories going back 2 years." She watched the clips, jaw tightening. "And because I was one of them 25 years ago. Different generation, same family." She pointed at a clip. "Can you enhance it?" When I zoomed in, you could see bruises on Samantha's arms layered over old ones. "How long?" Grace whispered. "Since at least March." She stood suddenly. "I need copies. Because this isn't going to trial for assault. Ethan Reynolds is going down for sexual assault, stalking, and felony intimidation." That girl didn't snap. She survived. That afternoon, a Twitter user posted, "Since everyone's sharing, here's my Ethan Reynolds story." The thread was 12 posts long. Within hours, 6 more stories appeared. Then a dozen. Then the floodgates burst. Girl after girl came forward. Harassment that escalated to assault. Attempts to report it shut down by threats or bribes. Thursday night, someone leaked security footage from inside the Reynolds law firm. It showed Richard screaming, ranting about "that little bitch" and how he'd destroy her family. Friday morning brought the biggest bombshell. A former employee sent me an encrypted file showing how Richard Reynolds had systematically covered up his son's behavior. Payoffs, threats, forged psychological evaluations. I posted it all. By Friday afternoon, the state attorney's office announced investigations into both Ethan and Richard Reynolds. Sponsors pulled out. The house of cards was collapsing. But in the middle was Samantha, silent and withdrawn. I found her at the park Saturday morning on her father's memorial bench. "Everyone knows who I am now," she said quietly. "I can't go anywhere without people staring. Some think I'm a hero. Some think I'm violent. I just wanted to skate." "You defended yourself." "I broke his arm." "He assaulted you." She turned to me. "Do you know what my dad told me?" He said, "The hardest part isn't learning to fight. It's living with what happens when you do." Grace Harrison approached. "Samantha, the DA is not pressing charges against you. Clear self-defense. But they are building a case against Ethan for serial sexual assault and Richard for obstruction of justice." Samantha nodded but didn't smile. Justice and peace aren't the same thing. "There's more. Channel 7 wants to interview you." CNN called. No. The word was immediate. "I've said everything I need to say." But the world wasn't done with her. Saturday night, someone doxed her address. Death threats, rape threats flooded in. Sunday morning, I found her in her corner at dawn. "I'm leaving," she said. "Mom got a transfer to Portland. We're gone by Friday. You can't let them chase you away." I'm not running from them. I'm running towards something else. A place where I can just be Sam who skates. What about testifying? The other girls need you. They have my statement. They have the videos. They have each other now. I did my part. I stood up. I fought back, but I don't want to be a symbol. I just want to be free. Monday was Samantha's last day at Riverside. The park was packed with skaters forming an honor guard. When she arrived, someone started clapping. Others joined until the sound filled the park. Not celebration, but acknowledgement. She skated for 3 hours. As the sun set, Nathan approached with a custom deck, painted with angel wings and the words, "Angels live here, too." The crew pitched in. "We wanted you to have this." She traced the words, blinking hard. "I don't know what to say. Say you'll skate in Portland. Say you'll remember us." The goodbye was messy, tearful, real that as Samantha was leaving. She stopped by her father's bench one last time, placed her hand on the plaque, and I saw her lips move. A prayer, a promise, or maybe just goodbye. Then she was gone. The aftermath rolled on without her. Ethan Reynolds pled guilty to multiple counts of sexual assault. 18 months in juvenile detention, 3 years probation, lifetime registration as a sex offender. His father was disbarred, convicted, sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. The skate park instituted new policies. Grace Harrison was promoted to head youth safety initiatives. Nathan spoke out about bystander intervention. And me, I kept filming, looking for the Samanthas, making sure they knew someone was watching. 6 months later, I got a package from Portland. Inside was a photo. Samantha at a new park mid-flight, arms spread like wings. On the back, still flying, still fighting, just differently now. I framed it above my desk. A reminder of the girl who paralyzed her attacker and mobilized a movement. The viral video is still out there collecting views, frozen in that moment of violent justice. But I prefer to remember the other moments. Samantha landing her first tree flip after 50 tries. Her quiet smile when kids applauded. The way she moved through space like she belonged there. Because she did. That's the real tragedy of bullies like Ethan Reynolds. They don't just steal safety. They steal joy, freedom, the simple right to exist in public spaces without armor. Samantha got her justice, but she lost her home. The park got safer, but she wasn't there to enjoy it. The video has 10.2 million views. That's 10.2 million people who watched a girl defend herself and had opinions about whether she should have, whether she went too far, whether she asked for it. She did leave in the end. But first, she stood her ground. First, she said no and made it stick. First, she showed every girl watching that sometimes the only way out is through. And sometimes that has to be enough because angels live here too. Even when they have to fight to prove it. 2 years later, I was covering a competition in Seattle when I saw her. Different hair, college ID, but the same grace. Samantha was coaching young girls, teaching them not just tricks, but presence. How to claim space, how to stand firm. She saw me first, and her smile was genuine. Still filming everything. Still skating. Every day. Teaching now, too. Over lattes, she filled in the gaps. Portland had been healing. Therapy helped. Nightmares faded. She'd even competed under her mother's maiden name, earning a partial scholarship. "Do you regret it?" I asked, fighting back. She thought for a long moment. "I regret that it was necessary. I regret that it took violence to make people listen, but regret defending myself? Never. The park's completely different now. Really safe. I know. I've seen your videos." She smiled sadly. "I'm glad. That's all I wanted. For it to be safe for everyone." As she stood to leave, I had one last question. "Do you ever think about coming back?" She considered. "Maybe someday when it's just a place again, not a battlefield." She paused. "Thank you, Izzy, for filming, for caring, for making sure the whole truth got told." Then she was gone. Back to her new life, I returned to Riverside with her stories ending. Not viral justice or systemic change, but a girl who survived, healed, and chose to teach others what she'd learned the hardest way possible. That's the part the internet doesn't see. After the views and shares and justice served, there's just people trying to rebuild their lives. Samantha Walker paralyzed her attacker, but she refused to let trauma paralyze her. And in the end, that might be the greatest victory of all.